Epic conversation. Red Pill Bible study. What's good? What's happening? It's been a minute, about a good week since I dropped one, but I'm picking up right where we left off. What this is a whole series pointing out to my people, showing my people how we got deceived in the worshiping Satan. And the way we got deceived in the worshiping Satan was reading this book out of order and being taught this book out of order. So if you've been taught the Bible through the gospel, I'm here to tell you today that the Bible don't start in the gospel. But if your understanding of the Bible came from the gospel, you learned this book out of order. And anything done outside of order creates chaos, results in chaos. And so I've been going through this entire Bible from Genesis. We made it all the way up to Exodus, demonstrating to my people how they got deceived in the Satan worship. I also state this up front, that the being, the one that's called the Lord in the Bible, that's Satan. And the Bible reveals him first in Genesis chapter 2, verse 4. And it continues to chronicle his exploits and what he does and who he does it with. We've been over it. You're going to have to go through the videos to catch up. And I'm picking up, we in Exodus. And Moses is on the mountain with the Lord, who is Satan. And he's getting the commandments from the Lord on this mountain. So we done been over, and I done addressed already the concept of these 10 commandments that they are given at the point in time in humanity that these people are given the commandments, because the purpose of these videos is to show you the difference between the Most High God and the imposter. Satan want to be worshiping a place of the Most High God. The Bible is the story of how he went about doing it, how he went about deceiving people into worshiping him. So the first one that he deceived was Adam. And that's why the Bible traces the lineage of Adam, because through his lineage, through the lineage of Adam, the entire world came to worship the Lord as God. Because through the lineage of Adam, you get what's called Judaism. From there, you get Christianity, and from there, you get Islam. All of these three religions trace their lineage through Adam, through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I'm pointing out to you that they have been following a demon. They've been following a being that's been presenting himself to them as God, and that they can see him and they can interact with him. And right now, Moses is on the mountain. And he's getting commandments. Now, he already got what's called the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not have no other gods before me. Don't kill, don't steal, don't commit adultery, honor your father and mother. Everybody knows about these commandments. Critical thinking come in when you apply, okay, well, what kind of people need to be told that it's wrong to steal, kill, and destroy, lie, and cheat, and commit adultery at that point in history? Having come out of an entire empire, an entire nation that had governed a government and laws, having to ran across priests that already had established religious systems set up, and I'm sure with moralities and laws in place. And again, the evidence of the Most High God writing his laws on our hearts. So the question is, when we apply critical thinking, well, if the Most High God wrote his laws on our heart, then who is this being on the mountain writing these laws on stone tablets? And what condition of the morality, what condition of the integrity, what kind of people needs to be told as adults that robbing, stealing, killing, lying, and cheating is wrong? That a being have to come out the sky and write it on stone tablets for you can understand it's not right to kill. At that point in history, this ain't the beginning of time, y'all. They done came out of Egypt. Egypt, you know, Egypt lasted 10,000 years. Those dynasties. And you tell me that they hadn't developed a moral code until these people were wandering around in the desert and a being came down on the mountain with the mountain up in smoke and the trumpet sounded. It took that for these people to have a moral compass? Despite all the nations that they had been through and been surrounded by and their laws, it took that for them to realize, now you can't go stealing and cheating and killing and lying and destroying. That's not right. But to make it sink in, I said it before, I say it again. Remember the civil rights laws. What type of people? Somebody had to actually write it down and tell them, hey, y'all, anybody can eat in the restaurant. Somebody had to write it down and tell them, hey, anybody can drink out this water fountain. Somebody had to write it down and tell them, you can't go hang these people and kill them and cut our body parts as souvenirs because you don't like something they said or did. Somebody had to write this down, and before these people could get it. We had to do all kind of demonstrations and almost perform miracles for these people before they could. This is the type of people that we have to be dealing with. And it's going to be obvious when we look at after the 10 set of commandments that they got that everybody called the 10 commandments. The reason they stop at 10 is because of the next commandment. And that's where we finna go to. These are the type of people. And I'm going to pause and I'm going to point something else out to you. But we in Exodus, in the verse, in the chapter is 21. Okay. The 10 commandment was called the 10 commandments. You will find in Exodus chapter 20. I went over that. Watch my last video if you want to catch up. And now we're in Exodus chapter 21. Moses still on the mountain. He's still standing in front of the Lord, who is really Satan. This is going to be revealed plainly. And let's go. Exodus chapter 21. These are the laws you are to set before them. This would be considered law number 11. If you buy a Hebrew servant, he is to serve you for 6 years. But in the 7th year, he shall go free without paying anything. If he comes alone, he is to go free alone. But if he has a wife when he comes, she is to go with him. If his masters give him a wife and she bears him sons or daughters, the woman and her children shall belong to her master, and only the man shall go free. But if the servant declares, I love my master and my wife and children and do not want to go free, then his master must take him before the judges. He shall take him to the door of the doorpost and pierce his ear with an awl. Then he shall be his servant for life. If a man sells his daughter as a servant, she is not to go free as men servants do. If she does not please the master who has selected her for himself, he must let her be redeemed. He has no right to sell her to foreigners because he has broken faith with her. If he selects her for his son, he must grant her the rights of a daughter. If he marries another woman, he must not deprive the first one of her food, clothing, and marital rights. If he does not provide her with these 3 things, she is to go free without any payment of money. Pause. You mean, let's put our critical thinking. This is Red Pill Bible Study. And in Red Pill Bible Study, we do not deliver you information designed to trigger an emotional response. In Red Pill Bible Study, we encourage you to put on your critical thinking cap and use it. And that's what we're going to do here. So the 11th commandment and on down, this is dealing with if you buy a Hebrew slave. These people, imagine it. Just imagine it. They've been slaves for 400 years. Oh man, they've been hollering and crying and toiling and slaving, and it's been hard, and they've been hollering, Lord, Lord, Lord. Finally, after 400 years, he swooped down and saved them, free them from the Egyptians. Tell them, meet me on the mountain, and I got some rules and regulations for y'all to follow as a nation. And they go and Moses on the mountain, he give them 10 commandments dealing with morals that should have already been addressed centuries, thousands of years ago. But for some reason, they just now getting this set of morals. And now the very next thing he's commanding them, the laws that the Lord, who is Satan, is giving them, is laws concerning the enslavement of each other. The Lord, who is Satan, that's why he don't have a problem with slavery. And instead of telling them, you have seen what you just went through under the Egyptians, never make another man a slave. No, we dealing with Satan, who's saying, I'm God, worship me or else. Look, you see all the stuff I got going. And he's giving them instructions, these people newly freed from slavery, how to sell each other in the rules and regulations around selling each other into slavery. Now, if you're a black person, man, and you know the history of slavery, imagine the black people in the United States being freed. And as soon as, it wasn't even a month later, they had them a whole set of laws to govern the people that they was going to enslave, including each other. You'll be like, man, what kind of God is y'all serving? What y'all got going on? You mean your God freed you from slavery just to teach you how to enslave each other and other people? So he don't want to outlaw slavery. He just want to regulate it. That's your God. That ain't my God. That's your God. If that's your God, the Lord is your God. Here your God is teaching them how to, how to be slavers. What he doing? He's teaching them how to be slavers. If you buy a Hebrew slave, do you think the Most High God is going to free a set of people from slavery and then instruct those same people that he just freed from slavery how to enslave other people? Is slavery evil? Yes or no? Right or wrong? Is it wrong or not? If you got to think about it, oh man. But no, you say it's a horrible, evil, wrong, and backwards thing to do. Any servitude that you do in this world, in this life, should be voluntary. It should be your servitude should come from appreciation. I appreciate you so much for what you've done that I will willingly serve you. I believe in you so much. I support you so much that I will willingly, any coercion, any force, make you a slave and an unwilling slave. So it's an evil institution. We all know it. But according to the Lord, ain't nothing wrong with it. You just got to regulate it a little bit. That's all. Behold your God. I'm just making it plain. I'm going through piece by piece, line by line, precept on precept, so you can't keep saying, well, I didn't know, or that's your interpretation. Nah, this is plain as the nose on your face that the Lord is instructing them on how to conduct slavery. He's not abolishing it. He's not telling them it's evil. He's telling them how to do it better. Behold your God. How to do it to each other at that. Eat one another. How to enslave one another. I refuse to praise that God. Never ever. It'll never happen. But I know the truth. But yeah, man, I just gotta make this plain because people seem to just quit thinking when they come to this book. I don't understand it. Personal injuries. Anyone who strikes a man and kills him shall surely be put to death. However, if he does not do it intentionally, but God lets it happen, he is to flee to a place I will designate. This is the Lord talking to them. So he even sees a distinction between him and the Most High God. I'm going to read it again. Anyone who strikes a man and kills him shall surely be put to death. However, if he does not do it intentionally, but God lets it happen, but I let it happen, because this is the Lord that's talking to him. But I'm telling you, the Lord is Satan. So he said, if God let it happen, because he know what's up, I'm trying to get you to see what's up. He is to flee to a place I will designate. But if a man schemes and kills another man deliberately, take him away from my altar and put him to death. Anyone who attacks his father or mother must be put to death. Anyone who kidnaps another and either sells him or still has him when he is caught must be put to death. Anyone who curses his father or mother must be put to death. If men quarrel and one hits the other with a stone or with his fist and he does not die but is confined to bed, the one who struck the blow will not be held responsible if the other gets up and walks around outside with his staff. However, he must pay the injured man for the loss of his time and see that he is completely healed. If a man beats his male or female slave with a rod and the slave dies as a direct result, he must be punished. But he is not to be punished if the slave gets up after a day or two, since the slave is his property. This is from your God. Behold your God. If men who are fighting hit a pregnant woman and she gives birth prematurely, but there is no serious injury, the offender must be fined whatever the woman's husband demands and the court allows. But if there is serious injury, you are to take life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, bruise for bruise. If a man hits a man's servant or maidservant in the eye and destroys it, he must let the servant go free to compensate for the eye. If he knocks out the tooth of a manservant or maidservant, he must let the servant go free to compensate for the tooth. If a bull gores a man or woman to death, the bull must be stoned to death and his meat must not be eaten. But the owner of the bull will not be held responsible. If, however, the bull has had the habit of goring and the owner has been warned but has not kept it pinned up and it kills a man or woman, the bull must be stoned and the owner must be put to death. However, if payment is demanded of him, he may redeem his life by paying whatever is demanded. This law also applies if the bull gores a son or a daughter. If the bull gores a male or female slave, the owner must pay 30 shekels of silver to the master of the slave, and the bull must be stoned. If a man uncovers a pit or digs one and fails to cover it, and an ox or donkey falls into it, the owner of the pit must pay for the loss. He must pay its owner, and the dead animal will be his. If a man's bull injures the bull of another and it dies, they are to sell the live one and divide both the money and the dead animal equally. However, if it was known that the bull had the habit of goring, yet the owner did not keep it pinned up, the owner must pay animal for animal, and the dead animal will be his. Pause. Oh man, this ain't plain as the nose on y'all face. At this point, you just holding on to tradition. You know that this is what I'm saying is real, but you holding on to the tradition. So you got the Lord done told Moses on the mountain, if you beat your slave almost to death, but he don't die, he must be punished. But he is not to be punished if the slave gets up after a day or two, since the slave is his property. This, behold your God. That's your God. These are his laws that he's given to Moses for him to give to the people. That's why they stop at 10. Because if they keep going after 10, you're going to have too many questions that they're not going to be able to answer. How can an all-knowing, benevolent God uphold the institution of slavery? For that alone, he can't be my God. For that alone, you can't be my God. You can't be. These commandments are why you can't be my God. My God wrote my law, his laws, on my heart. Your God wrote his laws on stone tablets. The laws that I got from my God in my heart are perfect and they have never changed. It's no old version. It's no new version. It's just the one perfect version. Ain't never changed. The law that you got from your God is imperfect and backwards and had to be replaced. Matter of fact, later on in the book, your God gonna admit that these laws are no good, and he intentionally gave them laws that were no good because they were no good. All my preachers and my teachers know exactly what I'm talking about. I just ain't got there yet. I'm taking you, I know this book front and back, but I'm going to take you through it line by line, precept on precept, point out to you the work of the adversary, point out to you the work of the imposter, and asking you, is this your God? The one that called himself the Lord, worship me or else. Is that your God? Because if he is, why do you think these people owe you something for enslaving you? They don't owe you nothing if this is your God. They was within their rights. They was in their bound. They got these instructions from your God, how to enslave you. Shut up. Thank God for your enslavement, because it's instituted by your God. Yeah, he gave them the rules and regulations on how to enslave you, how to beat you within an inch of your life, and they don't even be punished if you recover from their beating. This is from your God. And you hollering about some reparations. Only way you're going to get reparations if you can accept the fact that slavery was an evil institution run by evil people. But if you can say that, then you need to look at your God if you call yourself a Christian, because that's where the rules came from. Right after the 10, baby. Just keep reading and you'll read right after those 10 commandments. He get right into enslaving your brothers. You think those set of instructions came from the Most High God? Let me tell you what set of instructions that came from the Most High God. The only set of instructions the Most High God gave you in this entire book. The rest of it came from the imposter. I'm finna read to you a set of perfect instructions, and I challenge anybody to find me a set of instructions that are more perfect. I'm going to read to you a set of instructions that have been so perfect that you can apply them today. They ain't never changed. There is no old or new version of them. It is what it is. It's the living word. So let me read to you the instructions of the Most High God that he gave you. And then look at the difference between the instructions that the Most High God gave you, which are perfect, and the imperfection of what Moses is getting from the Lord on that mountain. God blessed them. First thing he did. Because see, the Lord, he say, behold, I am the Lord your God, and you ain't supposed to put nobody else before me or else. He told Adam, you can eat from any tree, but don't eat from that one. When you deal with the Most High God, look at the first thing the Most High God do. And God blessed them. First, before I start commanding you and trying to give you instructions, first, let me bless you. Just because you exist, baby, because I made you. I'm glad I made you. First thing I'm going to do is bless you. Yeah, that's my God, right? Check my God out right here. And said to them, be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air and over every living creature that moves on the ground. Then God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it, they will be yours for food. And all the beasts of the earth and all the birds of the air and all the creatures that move on the ground, and everything that has a breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food. And it was so. Those are the instructions from the Most High God. He didn't give you another set of instructions, because if he did, then that would mean that these were lacking, that these were imperfect, and he would have had to come and give you a better set of instructions that would negate his omnipotent status if he had to do something and then come do a better version. It doesn't happen in the entire creation story dealing with the Most High. He did something once and it was good. He didn't have to go back and redo nothing. Nothing that he did had to be redone. Nothing. Not even the instructions that he gave. It's no old or new version of the Most High God's instructions. Your God that you worship, that you claim is God, he have an Old and New Testament. Your God that you worship, that you holler and poop and fart behind, he have old 10 commandments, then he have a new commandment. Now you're under grace and mercy in the 10 commandments. You did what I'm saying? The difference between the two? Ah, man, son, I ain't through, man. Let's read some more of this ridiculousness of your God. Who, this is what you believe. I'm finna make light of it a little bit, just to get you to think about what you believe. You believe that the Most High God made human beings, then regretted making human beings, tried to kill them all, then figured out that they was going to be evil anyway. So he manifested himself in the flesh so that he could sacrifice himself to himself so that he could forgive you for making you the way he made you. That's what you believe. Won't just let this sit there. while me and my people try to get out. Exodus chapter 22. If a man steals an ox or a sheep and slaughters it or sells it, he must pay back 5 head of cattle for the ox and four sheep for the sheep. If a thief is caught breaking in and is struck so that he dies, the defender is not guilty of bloodshed, but if it happens after sunrise, he is guilty of bloodshed. A thief must certainly make restitution, but if he has nothing, he must be sold to pay for his theft. If the stolen animal is found alive in his possession, whether ox, donkey, or sheep, he must pay back double. If a man grazes his livestock in a field or vineyard and lets them stray and they graze in another man's field, he must make restitution from the best of his own field or vineyard. Man, if a man seduces a virgin who is not pledged to be married and sleep with her, he must pay the bride price and she shall be his wife. Do not allow a sorceress to live. A lot of death penalties. Anyone who has sexual relations with an animal must be put to death. Whoever sacrifices to any god other than the Lord must be destroyed. Do not mistreat an alien or oppress him, for you were aliens in Egypt. A foreigner, in other words, but they do put that word alien in there, y'all. It is in there. Do not take advantage of a widow or an orphan. If you do and they cry out to me, I will certainly hear their cry. My anger will be aroused and I will kill you with the sword. Your wives will become widows and your children. What kind of people have to be when the Most High God said be fruitful? This is spiritual. 2/3 of you cannot be seen. And so the fruit of the Spirit that we bear, if you are fruitful, nobody has to tell you. If you bear the fruit of the Spirit, if you obey the command of the Most High God from the very beginning, and you produce and you bear and put forth the spiritual fruit of patience and kindness and love and mercy, nobody will ever, ever, ever have to write it down or tell you not to take advantage of a widow and orphan. Because the type of person, the type of constitution that you have, it wouldn't even enter your mind. The Bible is telling you that there are people in this world that the laws of the Most High God ain't written on their heart. They don't have a conscience. If it's there for the taking, they're going to take it. Especially if they can get away with it. And if ain't nobody to, one, give them a law, no, you can't do that. And two, enforce the law, they're going to do everything they can get away with. There are people that exist like this. They are called the lawless. And the government is to govern over them. That is the purpose of the government. Those that bear the fruit of the Most High are free. There is no law that can govern you. You are the one that would make the laws to govern the lawless if you bear the fruit of the Spirit of the Most High God. But what I'm reading to you are the instructions that Moses is getting from the Lord on the mountain. And so, laws of justice and mercy. Do not spread false reports. If you bear the fruit of the Most High God, one of the fruit of the Spirit is truth. When you open your mouth, you're going to speak the truth. So nobody will ever have to tell you not to spread a false report about somebody, not to go lying on somebody, not to go hating on somebody. Character is just not going to be in you. I can't be no hater. I know a lot of haters. I know people that if they not hating or gossiping or turning something down or talking down, they don't have nothing to talk about. I sit intentionally and wait to see. I wonder if I don't entertain no haterism, no turn of nobody down. We don't talk about nothing frivolous. Let's see. No edifying conversation is going to come from these people. It's not in them. So it's not going to come out. What's in them is greed, confusion, chaos, hatred. That's what's going to come out. You did what I'm saying? So you dealing with some people that line by line, precept upon precept, they having to be given morals because it's not in their heart. They don't got it. After 400 years of being enslaved, they come out of slavery looking to enslave each other and anybody they can come across and get away with enslaving. You're going to see it in a minute. I'm just going over some of these, some of the ridiculousness that you get from your God and asking you, pointing them out to you, holding them up to you so you can see your God and how ridiculous you look. Yeah, man, like you ain't thought about none of this stuff at all. He is actually instructing these people on how to conduct slavery fresh out of slavery. Oh, but it came from the Lord, so it must be good. Well, you better shut up about reparations. You ain't getting none. This was instituted by your God. If you want reparations, go to your God and ask him why you legalize slavery and give these people laws and oh. Shut up then like I thought. Oh man. He give them law for the Sabbath. All of if you sacrifice 3 times a year, all men ought to appear before the sovereign Lord. Annual feast 3 times a year, you are to celebrate a festival to me. Celebrate the feast of unleavened bread. For 7 days, eat bread made without yeast as I commanded you. Do this at the appointed time in the month of Abib, for in that month you came out of Egypt. No one is to appear before me empty-handed. Bring me something. A cow, a bull. Oh, man. Celebrate the feast of harvest with the first fruits of the crops you sow in your field. Celebrate the feast of ingathering at the end of the year when you gather in your crops from the field, what we call Thanksgiving. The feast of harvest, when you bring, that's the harvest time. 3 times a year, all the men appear before the sovereign Lord. Do not offer the blood of a sacrifice to me, along with anything containing yeast. The fat of my vegetable offering must not be kept until morning. Bring the best of the first fruits of your soil to the house of the Lord your God. Do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk. I'm going to read for a little bit. I got a little bit of time. Bear with this reading. See, I am sending, this is Exodus chapter 23, verse 20. See, I am sending an angel ahead of you to guard you along the way and to bring you to the place I have prepared. Pay attention to him and listen to what he says. Do not rebel against him. He will not forgive your rebellion, since my name is in him. If you listen carefully to what he says and do all that I say, I will be an enemy to your enemies. I will be an adversary to your adversaries. I will be a Satan to your Satan. And will oppose those who oppose you. My angel will go ahead of you and bring you into the land of the Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Canaanites, Hivites, and Jebusites, and I will wipe them out. Do not bow down before their gods or worship them or follow their practices. You must demolish them and break their sacred stones to pieces. That's why when your conquerors came to Africa and they came to the Americas and they would come across all of the pyramids and the places of worship, they would destroy them. They are following the instructions of their God, and to them, you are a heathen. You didn't worship their God, you got wiped out. This come from the genocide that you scream and holler and cry about. Behold, it come from your God. Your God instituted genocide. Satan. That's who you worship. He called himself the Lord. Who do you think would institute genocide? The Most High God, who is love, or Satan? Who do you think would come tell one group of people, go kill all those people over there and take their land? After you kill them all and take their land, get yourself situated, get you some rest, and then go kill all these people over here and take their land. Sound familiar? Britain, France, Spain, worldwide conquest, coming to the indigenous people of the land, desecrating their temples, destroying them all, man, woman, and child, and taking the land. This is the blueprint. Here we go. You can stick your head back in the sand. You can hold on to your tradition, but you will know that you worship Satan. I'm going to make it plain. You worship Satan. If the Lord is your God, if the one that gave Moses the 10 commandments is your God, you worship Satan. You worship the one that instituted slavery and genocide. That's your God, not mine. Please quit trying to come bring him and get me to bow down to your God and be a slave with you. To ignorance and silliness and backwardness because you stuck in your feelings and don't want to think about what's in front of you. Don't get mad at me because I'm reading this thing line by line, precept on precept, starting in the book of Genesis. And here we are in Exodus, steadily pointing out to you the works of this demon that you call your God. And you don't want to accept it because, can I be frank? Look, it's coming from me. I ain't got no degrees to make the prophecy true, man. The unlearned is going to confound the wise, the wisdom of the wise. So that is so that I can't get no credit for it. I can't say it's because I'm so smart. I can't say it's because I'm so good. I done 10 years in the penitentiary for aggravated robbery, aggravated assault, 2 dope cases, and escape. I took 10. They ran it all concurrent. I did that whole 10-year sentence. Got out pimping and selling dope. Got shot up 6 times in the neck, twice in the chest, in my arm, twice in my left leg. I don't have no degrees. I got experiences and bumping my head and running around in darkness. And I was saved by my God. Jesus didn't save me. The light of the Most High God, my eyes opened and I was able to see. I left all that alone. He say, man, when you come into that understanding, you're going to turn away from the world. You're going to give it up. He say, give up everything you got and come follow me. But when you see it in action, you call it crazy. I'm just saying. He say, the one that you call your Lord and Savior, he say, give everything up. Because he had a trade and the carpenter. Give all that up and come follow me. But when you see it in action, when you see somebody give it all up and follow the Spirit, follow the light of the Most High, the Christ, not the human being, I'm talking about the light, you think they crazy. Why you not out here slaving and chasing these dollars? Because I'm following the instructions of the Most High God. He told me get that up and don't worry about none of that. Okay, so here we are pointing out to you that you really worship Satan. That's why he telling them how to have slaves and promising them, I'm going to help y'all commit genocide. Y'all going to get rid of these people, all of them. And you're going to take their land. This is how the Lord operate. He love to kill. Oh, man, listen, if you want to deal with the Lord, all you got to do is kill something. Why you think you see so many the celebrity sacrifices going on? Because of the God that they serve. He love bloodshed. Why you think they always trying to get your blood? They can check your mucus. They can check your saliva. They can check your urine. They can check your hair. They want some blood. But you run around here in fairy tale land and thinking a nigga can't tell you nothing. Can't no young black dude, middle-aged black dude with no education. I have more education than any professor you ever known, but with no validation from your oppressors. That's what the certificate you get is validation that you're gonna mine. The certificate that you get is validation that you are familiar with their sources of information. You have accepted them and you know how to navigate their sources of information and you accept it. It's all it is. It's not about it. Educing is bringing what's within you out of you. That's education. I got millions of years in DNA I'm coming out of to show you what I'm showing you. It's a lineage. It's in our bloodline to be able to see the truth. So, I go on my little side, but this is a good one today. I'm liking where this going. Do not bow down. He say, I'm gonna wipe them out. Do not bow down before their gods or worship them or follow their practices. You must demolish them and break their sacred stones to pieces. Worship the Lord your God, and his blessing will be on your food and water. I will take away sickness from among you, and none will miscarry or be barren in your land. I will give you a full lifespan. I will send my terror ahead of you and throw into confusion every nation you encounter. Pause. The attributes of the Most High God. The attributes of the Most High God. What's the opposite of terror? What is terror? Well, terror is the absence of courage. See, when you deal with the Most High, you get encouraged. Nothing will terrify you. He don't deal with terror. The one that terror is an attribute of darkness, and so is confusion. The darkness is terrified of the light because he know where the light is. Darkness can't exist. Confusion is terrified of understanding and wisdom because he know what understanding and wisdom is. He cannot exist. So when you deal with the Most High, you get courage, you get understanding. And when you deal with the adversary of the Most High, that's Satan. Satan means adversary. When you deal with the adversary of the Most High, you get the absence of courage. That's why he said, I'm going to send terror. That's all he got to send. I'm going to send confusion. That's all he got to send. He can't send you no understanding. He can't send you no courage. It ain't in him to send. They're going to conquer by fear and confusion. That's how they're going to go. That's how they're going to conquer. The same people that had to be instructed, that had to be told because the laws is not in their heart. They finna go terrorize and confuse some people. Instructed to by their God, your God, one you call the Lord, one, yeah, Lord. That's him. This the same one that you've been hollering about. He the one that instituted your slavery. He's the one that gave parameters of your genocide. The same one you hollering about. See how silly you sound? And even sillier, trying to convince other people to come worship Satan with you and bathe themselves in blood, eat flesh, drink blood, bathe themselves in blood, and call on this demon with you. So you can keep falling further and further behind if just sitting on the sideline watching you, I wouldn't worship the God you worship because you losing. You lose the God that you losing worshiping. Then you get more and more confused, more and more ignorant, left further and further behind, hollering, Lord, 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 to a demon that love bloodshed, slavery, and genocide. This is who you praying to. You got tricked into it though. Because see, you didn't know all this about the Lord. You didn't know he had all this going on, didn't you? Nah, I ain't know. I thought, I ain't know nothing about all that. I know. That's why you got the book. That's why they taught you the book out of order. Because if you had read the book in order, you'd have been like, hold on. Wait a minute. You tell them how? Didn't they just come out of slavery? I mean, they still in the desert. Like the people might still be chasing. And he already telling them how to enslave each other? Really? This is what we doing? Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. I'm going to kill all these people and take their man? What? Yeah, so they stop at the 10 Commandments and they start you with Jesus in Matthew. Open your Bible and they going to teach you the Bible. You done walked in this church, ain't never opened this book in your life. Don't know what's in it, you only heard about it. And you going to go in the church house and the first time you open the book, this is where you turn into. Look at all that book you just skipped over. Then they're going to hit you with the guilt trip. They're going to take you for an emotional roller coaster ride. And by the time you get out, you're going to feel like you owe your soul. Without ever having read and received this information in order. They hook you with the emotion. They get you to get emotionally invested before you even know what's going on. They give you a part of their story, a little slither of their story that invoked the most emotion out of you. Probably had you crying in the church house. Bless your heart. Because you're so good-natured and you hate to hear a story of suffering. They knew you would. That's why they gave you that story first. To get to invoke an emotional response and to dampen your reasoning. And so you respond emotionally to the call without ever having thought about it. Without ever having read the information in order. Hell, you wouldn't even buy a washing machine without reading making sure you, hold on, let me make sure I read before I sign this over when y'all try to say I owe more than what y'all trying to say I owe you. But when they get you so emotionally invested in the Jesus story, you can't think past the tears that you're crying for feeling so guilty. For being yourself. Because that's, you remember, and I'm going to tie this in, I'm going to get ready to close this. The adversary's whole issue with you was you weren't worthy of your title, that you weren't worthy of your birthright, of your inheritance of eternal life and rulership over all creation. He didn't feel like you were worthy of that. And so that was the whole beef. That's why he had to go. He vowed that he would make you worship him because he felt like instead of you being in that position, he should have been ruler over everything God created. You know what I'm saying? Not you. You just dirt. You ain't nothing. I'm made out of fire. He made out of dirt. I bet not. So Christianity, if I'm not mistaken, spent a lot of time convincing you that you are unworthy of eternal life. That you are a sinner and wretched and no good. Same thing Satan said about you. They make sure, because that's the 1-2 punch. First, they got to convince you that you are not worthy of your birthright, that you are not worthy of your inheritance. Because of your sin, you've been separated from the Most High God. They get you with that. And then they bring the Jesus story about him dying for you, and they hit you with the gift, and you get so emotionally invested, you feel like you owe Jesus your soul. And you give it to him. Come give me your soul. I want your soul. Give me your soul in return. Hold up, man. Hold up, man. I live my eternal life through my soul. I receive and inherit my birthright through my soul. Hold on, man. Let me get this stuff in order, man. For you just, why you demanding I give up my soul without me fully understanding what's going on? Why you so hungry for my soul? Satan, like a roaring lion seeking for who he may devour. It's a soul game, a soul stealing, soul selling game. Either they gonna try to steal your soul with the emotional guilt trip, or they gonna try to get you to sell your soul for some trinkets, a nice house, car, maybe they give you some money and influence. But either way, they are after your soul. They'll lie to get it, they'll cheat to get it. However they got to do it, they want it. It ain't even that they want it, they just don't want you to have it. They can't do nothing with it. You can, they don't want you to have it. So they try to trick you out of it. And get you into worshiping your adversary. Get you into worship the one that wanted you enslaved and wiped out. Get you to worship him. Exodus chapter 23, when I come back, and I'll be back, God willing, I'm going to pick up with Exodus chapter 24. If you got a calling on your heart to do it from the Most High God, do it. Listen, if you got a calling on your heart to do something with the Most High God, do it. When I come back next time, I'm going to start at Exodus chapter 24, the covenant confirmed. They're going to make it official. They're going to confirm and make it official that the Lord is their God. And then they're going to go about following his instructions, enslaving people and committing genocide until this very day. Behold your God. So yeah, come out of that. Go back to the original commandment. Be fruitful, multiply. Be blessed. First of all, understand and realize that you are blessed that by the Most High God. And what the Most High God bless, can't nothing take away. Can't nothing change. You will forever be blessed. They just gonna have to stick their bottom lip out and be messed up about it. They cannot change that. First of all, know that you are blessed by the Most High God. That means he has allowed you. You are given allowance, permission to inherit your eternal life and perform all the miracles that you can produce from your imagination. You got the leeway to go ahead and do it. He say, be fruitful. Be fruitful. That's patience and mercy and grace and peace and kindness and love. That's allowing yourself to reach the maturity, go through your seasons until you reach the maturity to bear that fruit. Be fruitful and multiply, because in the fruit that you bear is the seed for more of its kind. The more the more of the fruit of peace that you bear and produce, the more peace will be in the world, that it exists in the world. The more wisdom that you put forth and produce, the more wisdom will be in the world. Subdue the earth. These lies, you gotta overcome them. It's a lot of lies and a lot of false narratives being shot at you. The word angel mean messenger. So Satan, the adversary, and his angel and his messengers, and the Most High, our Father, God and King, and his angels, his messengers. So you got messengers of Satan at you all day, every day. They might write down their messages. They might put their message on your TV screen. They might put the message on your phone. It might come from a thought that you had in your head, but you got to overcome and subdue these satanic thoughts. You got to subdue and overcome envy, greed, confusion, lust, rage, violence. You have to subdue the earth, because you are given rulership, authority, dominion, and rule, but it's some down here fighting against you that you have to overcome, and you are commanded to. Do you understand how deep that is? He say, you can't lose. I command you to kick his behind. Anytime he stood up, anytime he come for you, kick his butt. Every single time. Forever. Well, heaven is a separation of light and darkness. And then he say, after subdue the earth, because this is in order. Once you just get your seduction, once you subdue him, exercise authority, dominion, and rule over everything to move over the face of the earth. Authority, dominion, it's yours. Exercising that authority is a lifelong work. Dominion means not letting nothing come in that ain't supposed to be there. Oh man, I ain't seen a better set of commands than the Most High God. Man, I ain't not up by nobody. I ain't seen a better set of commands. A more eternal, I'm talking about eternal command. They go so deep with just this small little bit. That's how you know you're dealing with the Most High. It don't take a whole lot. I don't got to tell you all of this, man. I wrote my laws in your heart. You didn't even need a book to know what I told you when you're dealing with the Most High. But boy, when you deal with that imposter, man, he try to make it look official, make it sound official, make it seem official, but he's an imposter, and it's obvious once you can see him. I'm in this, though. This is epic conversation. This is Red Pill Bible Study. Get this while it's good, y'all. You understand me? Open all three of your eyes and study. Take your time and check it out. Check out my Facebook if you ain't following me on my Facebook. Corey Chappelle, the same name. Check me out. I'm fully weaponized, man. The truth will not, the lie will not live here. Peace.